What is up, YouTube? I'm Mr. Bradley. We had some technical difficulties, me and T-Ball, recording our last show. Not sure what happened with the audio, but things happened. We apologize. This is our Week 13 picks. 49ers and Ravens. This is probably going to be the greatest game all week and just a phenomenal game between two number one, number two teams. Defense. Defense wins championships. T-Ball picked 49ers solely, I believe, just on defense alone. And I picked the Ravens because I just don't think Lamar Jackson is going to be able to be stopped in this ball game. But I do think this is going to be a high-scoring game or a really low-scoring game because of the two amazing defenses there are. Just probably going to be one of the best games. Our next pick, we both picked the Panthers. We just thought they had a stronger chance. Next pick, Trav picked Cincinnati. T-Ball picked Cincinnati. The 0-11 Cincinnati Bengals, he thinks they're finally going to get one this week. They may have a chance playing the Jets, but with no offense, with only Joe Mixon and the Jets having the number one run rush defense, that's going to be hard to do. I had the Jets in this game just solely because of that, because Cincinnati just has no offense besides Joe Mixon. The next game, we both picked the Colts. We feel the Colts have the best chance to win this division. It's up for their grabs. Jacoby Brissett isn't playing as well as he did, in the beginning of the season. But I do think they can get this game, and T-Ball thinks so too. We both picked the Colts, like I said. Next game, we both picked the Jags. The Jags have just been kind of a letdown here and there, left and right, back and forth. Every other week, it's like, man, when is it going to get going for you guys? You got Nick Foles back, and the defense isn't that bad of a defense, honestly. There's worse teams if you think about it. So our next picks, T-Ball has the Chiefs beating the Raiders. I actually picked the Raiders to have a bounce-back week, man. They got their asses whooped by the Jets last week, but Josh Jacobs is a beast, absolute beast. This is one of the greatest pickups I think the Raiders could ever have had. And with that being said, I had the Raiders because of that, and they actually have a good defense. I don't know what happened with that Jets game, whether it was a fluke or whatever you may want to call it, but I believe the Raiders can get it done. The Chiefs are a damn good team. They've been letting me down all year. It's the only reason why I didn't pick them here. They've dropped some games that you're just like, man, come on. But then there's also some games where, P. Holmes missed, and they didn't get a chance to have their full offense out there. And I just think with the, bottom-ranked rush defense, 31 or 32, with the Chiefs, that Josh Jacobs going to have a heyday after being kind of stuffed and stopped by the number one rush defense in the Jets last week. So that's why I have the Raiders. Like I said, T-Ball got the Chiefs, man. I didn't want to root against the Chiefs, but it's a division game. And if the Raiders beat the Chiefs here, the Raiders are now in first place in that division, which is insane to think about. Next game we had was the Eagles and Dolphins. T-Ball picked the Eagles, and he absolutely laughed in my face because I said I was taking the Dolphins here. Hey, the Dolphins got a couple wins. There's no reason why they can't come in here and win a ball game against a very struggling Carson Wentz and Eagles offense. Like, where's Carson Wentz been? That's the crazy thing. He's just been up and down. They had a chance to beat the freaking Patriots, man. I mean, they should have beat the Patriots, and all they could muster was 10 points in that game in like the first quarter, and after that they got shut out, and it was just sad. But man, I don't know. I just don't think the Eagles are very good this year after seeing what I've seen. Yeah, they beat my Packers team off of a last-second game tying touchdown that Rodgers tried to throw to somebody, and the ball got tipped away and intercepted, and things happened. But I just don't think the Eagles are that good right now. They got some injuries. T-Ball, like I said, laughed at my face because I picked the Dolphins and said, watch, Dolphins are going to come in here and steal a win from the Eagles too. But it may be different. It may be, Eagles may blow them out of the water, but I just have some weird feeling the Dolphins can get this one. So laugh all you want, T-Ball. And the next case, of course, we both picked the Packers to beat the Giants. Giants are just horrible. Giants haven't done much, since switching quarterbacks or whatever with Daniel Jones there, and I don't think they're going to have a chance against this offense with the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are going to be mad because they got their asses just totally whooped by the 49ers last week, and Rodgers is going to be kicking himself and have a fire up in his ass, and to get everybody else on that team going after having basically the worst performance of his lifetime in the National Football League. I think he will have a monstrous game against this Giants defense that is just not a good defense. And T-Ball thinks the same thing. Of course, we're going to take the Packers in this one. Next game, Rams. We both picked the Rams. Rams got to have a bounce-back week, man. They've had a terrible, terrible season this year of dropping games to teams that they just shouldn't have lost to. Just got destroyed by the Ravens last week, and it's understandable. But I didn't think the defense was that bad as with the Rams, to basically give up 40 points to the freaking Ravens. But, man, Ravens are looking hot, man. This is my Super Bowl pick right now, solely because of their defense is working and, complementing that offense that they run so well. And you just can't stop Lamar Jackson right now. So that's why I say. But they just destroyed the Rams last week. But I think the Rams will have a bounce-back week this week, being mad. And they got to keep pace with the Seattle Seahawks and the 49ers. And if they lose this game, I think their season's going to be done. So, Rams, you got to get this one for us. We both picked Rams. Moving on. T-Ball picked the Chargers in this one. I'm going with the Broncos. Chargers, another team that's just like, what is going on with this team that last year at this point, they were so much better, pretty much the same team. They've had some injuries here and there. The defense has stepped up against really good teams like when they played us and beat us. But then they've just kind of let off the gas with other teams, and it just doesn't make sense to me. But I like the Broncos here. They're starting Drew Lock this week. I know everybody's freaking out like, oh, God, it's going to be his first game. I think he'll be fine. I think at first, the first 3, 4, 5 passes he throws, he'll be a little shaky, but he'll get it under control, and he'll get comfortable and work some magic. They need to change of pace there with the Denver Broncos. They've been losing some close games by field goals in the last seconds. They've just can't get the quarterback situation figured out. And I think with Drew Lock coming in here, like I said, it's a change of pace and can end up getting him this win. But it's a division game like we're talking about, and T-Ball may be right here. Chargers may come around here and still win. We don't know. I think it's going to be a very good game. It always is with this division and division games. And so put me down for the Broncos. And like I said, T-Ball, he's got the Chargers. Next game, we both picked the Browns. Man, the Browns have been killing it. They're going into a division game against the Steelers. Steelers have been killing it with 5 straight wins. Browns got 3 straight wins right now, looking for number 4. And this is going to be a hell of a game between 2 great teams. But we know what happened the last time these 2 teams played, right? Mason Rudolph got smashed in the head by his own helmet by Myles Garrett. Garrett's gone for the season. He's suspended, which he should be. That was ridiculous. There is no sense of that in the NFL or any other professional league of sports unless you're, in MMA or any kind of UFC or boxing, something like that. But my thing here is that the reason why I picked the Browns, and I think T-Ball as well, is because they benched Mason Rudolph this week. And for a guy that I'm just like, I don't even remember your name right now. That's how irrelevant you are for the Steelers. And I don't think it's going to be pretty. Look, there's Mike Tomlin there. He's a great coach. I get it. But coaching alone can't win this game. That defense is playing really well, so maybe the defense can get a win for the Steelers. I just think the offense from the Browns right now has way more firepower, and they're rolling too. These are 2 teams that combined for 8 straight wins right now, and they're both looking for that division. They got to keep pace with the Ravens, but I think the Browns finally, have got something turned around here, and if they win out, they could be 10-6. That's insane. But right now they're sitting at 5-6. And they got to get this win against the Steelers. I think they will because, like I said, a third-string quarterback coming in. Run game's not really there. Really, it's just a defensive game between them and versus the Browns offense. So that's kind of why we both picked the Browns. But moving on, next game, we both picked the Texans to win this game. They are playing the Patriots. It's not in Foxborough for once. There's not going to be all these calls for the Patriots like last week when they played the Cowboys and should have lost to the Cowboys. Okay, and that tripping bullshit call that they called twice in the same game on the Cowboys. And get this stat. There was 2, like I said, there was 2 tripping calls on the Cowboys, right? There's only been 1 tripping penalty all season long between the other 31 teams. So if that isn't telling you something about the refs or helping Tom Brady get that win, because if you think about it and you watch that game, the Cowboys were on a 3rd and 1. They were moving the ball. They were probably going to score and win this ball game. And what happens? Refs jump in there. Oh, penalty, tripping, even though the man was just moving backwards, the offensive line, and blocking. All he did was take a step backwards. There was no intentional tripping anyone saw. Even the, experts on TV and stuff like that came in there and said, no, this was not a tripping. This is a ridiculous call. So I think the Texans should be able to come in here and beat them. Look, the Patriots have looked suspect the last 3 games they've played. They played the Cowboys, should have lost. Got that cheap call with the tripping. Should have lost to the Eagles. Eagles were playing phenomenal in that first quarter, and then after that, they just forgot how to play. They should have beat them. The Bills should have beat them. But I do believe the Texans have what it takes to get this one done this week to beat the Patriots. Patriots are not going to keep winning, guys. T-Ball said on the last episode that got messed up, and he said, word of mouth from him, that this is where we see the Patriots start to crumble, start to fall. These next 3 games that they have to play are against some very good teams. And they've had an easy schedule up to this point, and he was just basically reiterating that this is where they start to collapse, start to crumble. It's the end of the season. We all know they get better, but they can't just keep skating by these teams by a touchdown, a field goal. Tom Brady has no weapons. Stop Julian Edelman, like T-Ball and I always say, and then all you have to do is worry about Sony Michel in the run game. You stop Julian Edelman and Sony Michel, Patriots have nothing. That's why we got the Texans. We're taking the Texans on Sunday Night Football. Moving on to that Monday Night Football game. Monday Night Football, Seattle and the Vikings. We both picked Seattle. Seattle beat the 49ers. Best team in the NFL on paper right now, and the eye test defensively. If they could beat them, there's no way they can't. There's no way they're gonna lose to the Minnesota Vikings solely because of that. And their offense is just rolling right now. They got Josh Gordon kind of coming around. The defense is really good with Clowney and Wagner. Everybody else over there's clicking. They're just on the same page. This is a big time stage in which Russell Wilson, he just balls in these primetime games, and I think that's going to be the difference maker is Russell Wilson, that defense playing Minnesota. Minnesota has been getting some good wins. They've been on a roll lately, but I think this is where they finally lose one after like 4 or 5 weeks of winning straight. They played some easy games too, man. They played some easy teams. And this road coming up for the Vikings won't be very easily, and it starts here with the Seattle Seahawks, and the Seahawks will put a whooping on them and beat them in this ball game. And that is our Week 13 picks. Like I said, T-Ball and I had already previously recorded an episode. We do apologize that the audio got messed up. It will never happen again, I can promise you guys that. It was one little click mistake that I clicked something I shouldn't have, and I found out the problem. And we didn't have time to redo a show between our work schedule and things like that. And I understand you guys get it. And we do appreciate everybody listening, liking, sharing, commenting. Don't forget our Facebook page that we have started up for the Heated Waves podcast at Heated Waves with the Z. You can find us on there. You can find me on Twitter. You can Google us. You can find us on Instagram, all that good stuff. So don't forget to follow, like, comment, share, and hit the notification down below if you would. I'm Mr. Bradley. T-Ball was not here. He does send his regards to you guys, and he appreciates you all and everybody too. And with that being said, this is the Heated Wave podcast, and we appreciate you guys listening for those Week 13 picks. Stay tuned for the next one.